Okay, this is my first video on my new phone. Okay, let's try it here. I'm just resting. I had a terrible, long, fatiguing, mentally exhausting day on the phones with these phone companies, trying to explain. And then, oh, you got the wrong department, and I got to explain it all over again. Oh, we're going to give you the tech, and I'm just in charge of this department. We'll give you to tech support. Gotta explain it all over again. I'm getting pretty good at a spiel about what happened to me with the phone companies. I have several films pertaining to that. They are a curse to the elderly. Oh, they work on forgetfulness. And so don't the banks. So I got a lot to say because I've experienced it all. Why would I lie? I'm going to die shortly. I don't want to. I just want to expose and let the world know what's going on out there. What we did was is we're letting all these countries buy our businesses, and then they come back and then they arbitrate instead of court system. In other words, my fighting in Vietnam for the rights of the United States American citizen is null and void now. Either you take their product or say la vie. There's 5 million others that want it, and you're just a squeaky wheel. And that's what I'm trying to reveal. Our lobbyists have lobbied, and they have control. They're paying big bucks because they're making big bucks, real big bucks. Every person who's retired has a check coming into the bank every month. And there are schemers out there sitting in big conferences trying to find out how can we get some of that Social Security check that all them people in the United States are getting after they turn 62 or whatever. How can we get a piece of it somehow? And they had my whole check. I don't have much because there was a big mistake with Social Security in my part. I was self-employed as a real estate broker, and I filed jointly with my wife, and I paid double Social Security. I had to pay mine as the broker and mine as the person filing jointly. So I paid double Social Security, and we filed it. But it was never documented that I paid double Social Security. So I get a rinky-dink check every month, $367. My retirement from Social Security. You know, how things I went through, and I end up with that. So, anyways, T-Mobile, they had 307 of it. You ought to see how they finagled their way into that one with a free iPhone that they ended up charging me for. On down the line, all of a sudden I got 17 payments left to make on it. I says, how many? Well, I made payments on a phone? What are you talking about? It was included in my bill, and I just didn't pay attention. Just took it for granted I wasn't going to be hoodwinked by a T-Mobile. I mean, T-Mobile, that's the sign of the cross. That's what I thought. That's how I look at life. Sign of the cross, T-Mobile. And they're ripping you off. They're ripping you off. They gave me, here's one thing. They said a free iPhone upgrade, right? To draw me in. So I took it. I would have never got another iPhone because I had a problem with Spectrum with one. And I have several films in the past that I told what happened. It's a long story. I don't want to go into it. But it ended up that I paid for the iPhone and then they couldn't fix it. And they said, I'm sorry, you paid for it. It's your problem now. You got to get it fixed somehow. And the iPhone people couldn't fix it. They couldn't. They had turned on, blocked it, and then told me to go into Best Buy and have them wipe it and redo the phone so I could use it. Because they put a kibosh on it when I didn't buy storage. Because they caught me in between me uploading it to YouTube and then erasing it from my phone. I used over their limit, and then they hit me with, you owe us storage, buy it now. Not, we're going to shut you down. And that's what they did. They shut me down. And nobody could turn me back on. So now I'm making payments on a phone that's shut down, and I can't. And, so I said, iPhone, take a hike. I took it back. I wasn't supposed to be charged for it anyways. It was an iPhone 14 because the iPhone 12 is the one that gave my wife a broken ankle because of the stress and anxiety. We went over that phone. She passed out and fell down and broke her ankle. And then on the way to the hospital, she's talking to me on the phone. They shut her phone off. And you tell me, they later came back and apologized. And they gave us 2 free years of internet if we would come back, forgive and forget. And we did. So that was the story of that iPhone. I paid it off. They couldn't. And then the sarcastic smart ass, and I'm going to call him that was in charge at the office that I went to, the business, the store. I walked in, I told him my problem, what happened with Consumer Cellular ripping off my number from Spectrum, and then Spectrum going saying, hey, he ended it with us. We want payment for our phone that he owes on. And they demanded payment. I said, what for? I didn't keep on making a payment. Oh, you ended your account. I said, I never ended my account. So, well, Consumer Cellular called here and got your phone number. You ended the account when that happens. And we have 5 million people. We can't take and question everybody. If they got the information, which they had, what would happen was they had a special going on, 2 free iPhones for my wife and I, 2 free ones, and $25 a month. We went for it, but they wanted our phone number from Spectrum, and I told them, no, I'm going to keep my Spectrum phone just in case something screwy on down the line happens. I'm going to keep it because it's only $14.95 a month, the second phone, because my wife had a primary phone with them, and we had the second phone for $14.95, and it was limited as far as how long you could talk on it and all that other stuff. But it still was $14.95, which was half the money I was paying with Consumer Cellular. So they said, well, we want your number. And I said, well, no, you can't have it because I'm going to keep my phone with them. Well, okay, I want my own phone number. Well, we'll have to check that out. I'm going to put you on hold, and I'll get back with you to find out how we're going to take and do this if we can't have your number from Spectrum. So anyways, she put me on hold, and of course you know what happens. Their game, that's the way they got it programmed. They're going to get your number, and they're going to get complete control of the cell phone, not split control. They want complete control. I don't know if this is how they think, but this is how I saw it. Okay, so they put me on hold, and of course it was interrupted somehow, and they never called me back. They had my phone number and everything, all my information to call me back, but they didn't. They went ahead and processed it with Spectrum, calling them up and giving them all the information. And I asked Spectrum, I said, why did you give them my phone number? I never authorized that. He says, if they call up and they have all the information, we have 5 million customers. If they have the information, we give them the phone number. We don't question and call everybody. It's too consuming, it's too time consuming. So we do it. We give them what we get. So that's what they did. Consumer Cellular went against my wishes, and they knew I didn't want them to use my account, but they went against it anyways. And they had a scheme. They put you on hold, and then they don't call you back, and within 2 days, their policy is to process your information. And they had all my information, card numbers, everything. And they got my number, and there I am sitting with two phones now with Consumer Cellular, and my phone number from Spectrum is on them. And Spectrum is asking for me to pay off the iPhone that I still owe $600 on, which they sold me fraudulently too. Because I said I wanted like a 5G phone. They said, well, we don't have 5G phones at the time, but iPhone does. We can sell you one of those. I thought, oh, okay, I'll take one of those. I don't know anything about iPhone. I said, okay, I'll take one of those. I want 5G. So I get it, and I bring it back, and I'm going through it, and I'm saying, this is slow as molasses. Not flat. 5G was supposed to be something. So I call back up Spectrum, and I say to them, why is this phone, I got an iPhone here, 5G, and it's slow as molasses, don't even work hardly as good as my old phone. And they said, well, what's your zip code? And I went 13901, and they come back and they said, sir, you don't have any 5G in your area yet. It's coming, but it's not there yet. We expect it in about another year or so. And I go, oh, yeah, well, why did you sell me a 5G phone when you knew we weren't in a 5G area? Why? And you knew that's what I wanted was a 5G, and you knew why I wanted it. You just wanted to sell me the phone? And put me online, start charging me? I don't know. What did you do? It didn't answer me. Didn't have an answer for that. You owe us payments on that phone, $600, and we want a payment for it, or we're going to turn you into a collection agency. I said, well, thank you very much. How nice of you. And I said, I'll pay it off. If you turn it on, I'll pay it off. No, you pay it off and we'll turn it on. I said, okay. So I paid it off, $600. They fiddled around with it, and they couldn't turn it back on. The guy looks at me and says, we can't fix it. I said, well, give me a new phone. I says, no. He goes, no, you can't do that. You don't have the insurance on it or anything like that. You can't, what was it? I want to say the right thing. It's your phone, he goes. Now it's your phone. You paid for it. It's all yours. You've got to get it fixed. We have nothing to do with it. You don't have any warranties or anything like that. I just bought the phone. I don't have any warranties on it. There's got to be at least a 1-year warranty. That's standard, I would think, on a phone or any appliance. At least a 1-year warranty on it. They wouldn't honor that either. And the guy laughed at me when I told him that my wife, when they shut our phones off, it caused her so much anxiety, she passed out, fell down, broke her leg. He laughed at me. He says, you're a liar. Call me a liar. Right in front of everybody. You're lying. And you didn't, and to top it all off, he says, and you didn't buy your iPhone with us. We have no record of it. Why, you? Oh, I wanted to punch him in the nose real hard. And I could have. And put him out cold. I am an accomplished boxer in my day. And I still got the big punch. My hands are falling asleep. Imagine that. I got this chivalry in my brain. I'm going to knock everybody out. And I'm a 74-year-old guy. I'm lucky if I can throw a jab. But I got it in my head. I'm so ticked off at these people ripping me off. taking my money. One guy came to my house, said he could put my driveway in. And I had a quote of 20 grand to put a driveway in. This guy said he could do it for $7,000. I'm going, oh, but it wouldn't be concrete. It would be that stone, and they call it run and something stone, number 2 stone. What happens is they put it in and it rains, like in the fall, it rains and it freezes, and then over the winter it just stays frozen. Then in the spring, it's hard as a rock. I mean, it's like concrete. You can stand on it, you can pound on it. You can't dig into it. You can't dig down into it. You have to get a pitchfork. Not a pitchfork, but a pick and a shovel. That's how this stuff is. Now, I started inventing in my mind. My mind started cooking. How can I make this really cool? So I read up on it, and I found out that they have this honeycomb, 2-inch high honeycomb. You ever see see the checkerboard up there? Picture it as a honeycomb. Okay, isn't that funny? This is going to work out nice. So picture it as a honeycomb instead of squares. It's like a honeycomb where the bees put the honey in. Okay, and it's 9 feet wide and 27 feet long. And you put it on the mud or whatever it is, and then you put this gravel stone into it, and it holds it in place and keeps it so it isn't before I had 3 inches of stone, I got stuck. It was my car. I stopped and I started, and it kept on turning around like being in sand on the beach. That's what it was like when you put all that stone in. But this honeycomb stuff makes it, you can ride right on it, and you're never going to sink down into it because it's the way it's designed. I'm hooked on it. I've got it all spread. I bought 4 of them. Four of them 9 feet wide. They were $134 a piece. But 4 of them 9 foot wide, 28 foot long, somewhere around there, approximately. And I'm making a patio rest where you drive in to my driveway. I'm going to have a gate that slides like opening a garage door. Well, this gate is going to slide to the left. If you're looking at it, it's sliding to the right. And you push a button and the motor comes on. It's going to be all hooked up electrically. And then it will open up, and then you drive in. I have 160 foot to the back where my wood shop is, and then you can unload and load or whatever you want, and then drive back on out. Not have to worry about anything. I didn't have the snow. You can put a snow plow on and snow plow it in the wintertime. You don't dig down into the base, but you just let the blade just glide on top of it. And when it comes to a bump or anything, the blade goes forward and just humps up over it. And actually, it's smooth. To have your driveway plowed, it actually helps to smooth it out and pack it down even better. So I'm thinking about mixing a mortar mix with a Portland cement and sand and stuff like you make when you make block walls and all that, and pour that over the area, and then just let it moistly settle in and harden. And if it breaks up and all that, I don't care, but a lot of it will hold together. It'll be like having a concrete sidewalk or a concrete driveway. And they wanted 20 grand, and I can do this for less than $1,000. Right now I have 4 of those things that are $134, right? And I'll need probably 4 more when I do the other half. Right now I'm just doing the first half. And I'm just trying to get it base and everything. I called in the company to bring the stone in, and they dumped it And I says, well, can you open it up and then roll forward when you dump it so it's spread out kind of already? I don't have much more to spread it out instead of one big heaping pile in the middle of my driveway. Then I'm stuck. I gotta pick and shovel it and everything else. But if I get it the other way, I can get some type of a rig I'm thinking of right now to put on the back of my truck where I can drag a board or something like that to smooth everything out. They want $285 for one of those things you stand on. It's like a half a bobcat, but you're standing on it instead of sitting in it. And they have that with the plow thing on the front that you can use and drag. Move up, put the blade down, and then drag it. Move up, put the blade down, and then drag it. Then you can ride on top of it, see? But right now you can't ride on top of it because it's all humped up. So you start at the beginning, and then at each drag, you're packing it down and you're smoothing it out. And that's one thing this guy didn't know how to do. I got big ruts out there right now, big water pits filled with water. Because he didn't level anything out. He didn't pitch the road or anything. He just put in a base. Said he was going to put $3,400 of stone in. He didn't put as much stone as I put in, and I only paid $458 for the truckload to come in. And it's filled up my whole one of my driveways. I don't know how many tons it is, but it was $455, something like that. And they delivered it and spread it out better than what he did. He said he was going to leave me one pile when he was finished, and he didn't finish the job. He was supposed to make my cellar and the back porch 7-foot high ceiling, because my cellar floor needs to be dug out. It's in the dirt. He was supposed to do that, and he didn't. Took my money and ran. Then wouldn't. And then I threatened him. I'm going to take him to court and get my money back or something. And I prayed about it. God says, let him go. And I told him that. Because God told me to let you go, so I'm just going to let you go. See you later, alligator. He goes, oh, no, I told you. So he left the pile of dirt, the last pile of dirt. He left the big pile in my driveway, blocked my whole driveway. I couldn't use it for weeks because I had to do it by hand. He did it on purpose to let me know, well, if you don't think I earned my $7,000, he says, you spread it out. That's what he's trying to tell me, right? Oh, jeez. Come on. I could go rent right now a bobcat and have the company that has the dirt deliver it and spread it out and bobcat it all around in less than a half a day. And I'm not even in the business of doing that. I could have done what he did. In fact, maybe he might have learned how to use a backhoe on my job. I don't know. Because I told him to dig a footer out and back for my block wall to go up underneath my deck so I can take and put a block wall up, and I have a solid foundation now on a footer and everything. And he says, okay. So I go back there, and there's an 18-inch ditch dug. Not even down to the roots of the trees or anything. He hit those, and he stopped right then and there. And he said, I ain't going down through all them roots and everything. It would take forever to do that. So he just dug that ditch and then looked at me to see if it was going to be good enough or not. And I says, hey, I thought you knew what you were doing. And he looks at me, and I says, everybody knows the frost line's 2.5 feet down, and that the footer's got to be at least 3 foot. What are you giving me this for? 18 inches? What was that going to do for me? Says that heave my wall all over the place. And I says, and the roots from that tree will push it right over, in, and whatever it wants to do to it. That's shallow. Push it right up. You got to get down below the roots and stuff. You got to get down below the frost line. That's 3 feet down. And I want a ditch dug that. So you agree to. So he starts digging the ditch, and he dug a ditch. Not 3 feet, I don't think. Maybe it's close to it, but I'll have to get down there and dig a little bit, I guess, myself. But I got to put the block in now, put the V-rod in, and I got to pour it. I mean, there's a lot of work to do that, and then just put the block wall up. I'm going to parge it on both sides with that shear wall stuff. It has a polyfiber mesh in it, and it's 1/3 times stronger than a regular block laid wall by a professional. You know how they strike the joints and they make it look really cool and all that? Well, you just parge both sides of the wall after it's up and it's all leveled and everything. You put it up dry. You use little shims and stuff, make sure everything's nice and level on each layer. And it goes right up, and you shim it up right up underneath the porch. And then you parge the whole wall. And then you can cut the 6x6s that are holding up your porch. And then it just settles down on top of your footer and your wall. And now you have a solid foundation for your deck. And in the future, if you wanted to, you could turn the deck into a part of the building. You can make a rooms on it. And you got a foundation. You're all set up. And that's the way I've done it. So I have technically over 2,500 square foot. And a lot of it I've done what I just told you I was going to do to the back porch that I just built, 22 by 12, 12 by 22, onto an existing back porch that was 11 by 7, 11 feet long by 7 feet. I just extended the floor joists out of pressure treated lumber, 20 footers, from the middle of my house to the outside of my house. And there was about 7 or 8 foot that cantilevered. And 9'9" was the, on a 2x6 is the bending tolerance. So, but these were 2x12s. No, I'm sorry, 2x10s. 2x10s, pressure treated, extended out. And I just boxed it in, and I didn't have to have anything underneath it. It was all cantilevered out. It was solid. It was nice. I used it for many, many years. Matter of fact, over 40 years I used it like that. And I've had several different types of shelters built on top of that. I've tore down and rebuilt and tore down and rebuilt out of fencing and all that stuff. Just something temporary. You keep the animals out of the weather. In the wintertime, you open up the door, they can go out and sit out there and come back in or something when it's real snowy. My cats, I let my yard grow high. And I have lots of, not weeds, but I have, on the one side of my house here, I have that, it's a root. That, what's the name of it? Again, see, it's slipping my mind. I have it right in my mind. Something, it's a, oh, son of a gun, why does it slip me like that? See, there's my Parkinson's. You're witnessing it right now. And what did it do? And I lost it. Okay. Darn it. So what was my thing? Here we go.